What up, like these? We back at it again, another vlog after vlog after vlog. Last vlog had good time. Shout outs once again to the climbing place. Salute to them for having me. Right now, we about to go to the Museum of the Cape Fear. I don't know, I just rode past it. I don't know, you know what I'm saying, what's going on. This is my first time going here. Like I said, I'm gonna take y'all on to different places. But I just want to see the history, man. Now I want to find out the history of, you know, Fayetteville and everything like that. We got to know, man, certain places where you at right now, you got to know where you at to know where you going, you know what I'm saying? Like, and also be aware of the history that's in the city and state you in. You know, some of us don't even know the history of where we was born at, you know what I'm saying? So this might open the doors to people in from here to be like, you know what, I want to go there, you know, like let's see what's going on there, you know. So, you know, we're gonna go there, see what's going on, see if they, you know, basically what type of history they could tell us and everything of that sort. Like I said, man, we want to know. And also, if you're a business out there and you got something to promote, we here, you know. Like I said, the climbing place, shout out to them. Now we going over here to find out some history. You know, I want to, you know, bring awareness to this city right here because there's a lot going on right now, and a lot of people don't understand this. It's positive things going on here as well. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta spread that. You know, we gotta spread more, you know, positive instead of negative. And even if, you know, this might be a place that has certain things going on as far as slavery days, you know, it's certain things that you could remind the kids of how blessed they really is and should be thankful, you know. So once again, man, I ain't gonna talk y'all head off. Y'all could go to my page, follow me, like, share, comment, and subscribe. You know, if y'all want to get, you know, motivated each and every day. But let's get to it, man. Let's go, man. You already know. Museum. So this is the museum. And this is a tribal, look at that, the NC tribal and urban communities. Wow. Commissions of Indian Affairs. Wow, look at this. So y'all see that? Y'all see that? Check this out. But as we, you know, check that out. You gotta know the history of where you at. You gotta know the history. So, come on now. This is tribes. You know, you got the Indians, the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. You know, come on, man. L.A.M.B.s. Like, you gotta know this history, man. I don't know where you at right now, but they got museums that will tell you about this history, that will give you understanding about this history. You know, right where you at. Wow. So it's showing the colors. So the colors, the red Eastern Band of Cherokee is right there. That's it. Wow. So now, wow, that's crazy. Haunted and Sampson. So they had the green. They had green, which is right there. That's the green. Okay. And, so they had everybody had a color. Urban Indian Organization holding memberships on the NC Commission of Indian Affairs. So you see this is history, man. You got history right in, you know, in your city and state where you at right now. You know. But this is where you had tribes at. So right now, I've in Lumberton, they have a lot of L.A.M.B.s. They have a lot of L.A.M.B.s. So this is where they, you know, the history of them telling you how this happened, you know. So check this out. Look at this. This was the first Americans Look what it says. The first Americans. The first Americans, right? Look what they was called. Look what they was called. First Americans. European term that attempts to identify a people we know very little about. Come on now. Check this out, y'all. And they showing where they resigned from. This is where they resigned from. And then they came all the way down. Look what they was called. They came all the way down. Came all the way down. Like, this is real, y'all. This is real history, man. You know, you gotta know where you at. You gotta know where you at, you know. And check that out. Look what they saying on this. Okay, so let me get that. Like I said, we vlogging at the same time while we on live. So check that out. There's the culture. The periods between 8,000 BCs. So you talking about in BCs and 700 BCs is identified. Check that out. This is real history, man. You gotta know where you at. Wow. Became replaced by deer, elks, bears, rabbits, and turkeys. All of these were of value of, that's wow. Look at that, man. Come on, man. People who used them for food, clothing, shelter. These are things that they had to do in order to survive. Like, this is the stuff they had to do in order to survive. You know, like, can you imagine, man? Can you imagine what you really would have to go through to survive like this? Look what they was wearing. Look what they was look what they was wearing. I'm vlogging too at the same time, brother, so just bear with me, brother. You know, I'm trying to, you know, I got a little bit left on my thing, so that's why I said, y'all, please, you know, like, share, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channels, Born Hustlers Family, right now. But check this out, man. Look what they had, like, and think about this. Look at this picture right here. A family that eats together, a family that prays together and eats together, stays together, right? Look what they had to do. This is all the stuff right here that they had to pick out their food. You know, this is real, y'all. This is real. Like, look at that. Look at them hunting. They hunting the food. Check that out. They had to hunt the food. Look at that. That is theirs. So they had to, look what they had to do. Look what they had to hunt the food. They didn't have nothing, the artilleries that people got right now. They didn't have that. You know, these are things that they had to do, you know. We talking about, they said 18,000 BC. That's real, y'all. That's real, y'all. This is real. You know. Check the, wow, look. Check that out. Wow. This is all. You couldn't even imagine right now if it was to go, if it was to go just turn around and be this way right now, what would you do? What would you do if this was to turn around and be this way right now? This is, look at that. Look at that. Check, stamp, bold, Cherokee, 19th century. Come on now. That's the bowl. That's the bowl. Come on, y'all. You gotta know the history. Net impressed bowl. That's 14 AD. 14 AD. It's the bowl. It's the bowl. And this is just showing how they basically, the designs of it. Wow, man, it's history, y'all. You gotta know history, man. You have to know. And Pretty, thank you for the share, blessings. Remember, we elected. This is history, y'all. You gotta know these things, man. In order to be what God needs you to be, you gotta know where you came from. You gotta know how blessed you is. Just imagine if you had to turn back the hand of times and all of a sudden things just turn out to be just like this right here. Look what they had to do. Look what they had to do. Look at the things they had to do in order to survive. In order to survive. In order to survive, look what they had to do. Fishing. Listen to it like, come on now. Woman of God, blessings, how you doing today? We just vlogging at this museum. It's Cape Fear Museum. We're just giving history, that we need to know. That we need to know in order to know how blessed we really is. Like I said, just imagine if you had to go back to this right here. If you had to go back to this right here, what would you do? Look at the daily life. The daily life. The native population operated on a very simple, come on now, economy. It did not understand the concept of private property. Everything was owned and in command by the community. Most things were shared. Land certainly was not owned, but was provided by the spirit world for everyone equally. Come on now. Just imagine if you had to go through this. What would you do? So you got to know you blessed. You got to know you blessed. You got to know you blessed. It's a daily life. At the end of the season, or year, surplus food and skins were thrown away to discourage material accumulation. It was part of a spiritual renewing of the village. Wow. Come on now. Come on now. We got to understand how blessed we really is. If you had to go back to this, what would you do? What would you do? If you had to go back to this, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? What would you do? If you had to hunt your food with this, what would you do? what would you do? If you had to hunt your food with this, what would you do? Huh? What would you do? Use of animals. This is what they had to use for the animals. Check this out. You know, this right here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, y'all. You ain't gonna tell me you're not elected and blessed, man. What you think is this? What y'all think is this? What y'all think is this? Huh? This is what a lot of people had to eat out of. This is something people had to eat out of. Would you eat out of this right now? Huh? Would you do that right now? Would you take your time out to eat out this right now? That's the whole thing you gotta understand. When you feeling like you ain't blessed, think about these type of, moments. Think about these type of moments. We elected, y'all. We blessed. I want y'all to understand this. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Born Hustlers Family. Once again, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Born Hustlers Family, to get the long content that we do. Check this out, y'all. This is a part of the food. This is what they had to sit on. These is things right here they had to make in order to survive. These is things that they had to make in order to survive. This out, y'all. Check this out. Check this out. Yes, we is. We is. Christian Dad, blessings, just showing why we should be thankful for what God is doing for us. That's it. These is moments that our ancestors had to go through in order to survive.
You want to go get some cookies?
Look at this. Look at how they getting their food. Look, this is how they doing it. You gotta understand. We blessed, we elected. But remember, you cannot be ungrateful for what God is doing for us. You cannot be ungrateful for what God is doing for us. God is revealing us to have great things happen for us. So be blessed, be thankful. Be thankful. Be blessed and be thankful. They say push this button. Okay. Oh, wow. So, this button. Okay. Let me put it right here. Sorry, y'all. I'm vlogging at the same time, y'all. Just trying to get y'all to be able to see these things and understand. So, look at this. That's what they had to do. That's what they had to do, y'all. Thank you, woman of God, for sharing this live. I just want to show people why they should be thankful. That's it. Why we all should be thankful. Because you ain't got to go through this type of stuff. And we thankful for our ancestors and everything that had to go on, because, once again, it's not an everyday thing, but we do struggle. But remember this, it ain't like this. It ain't like this. Be thankful. These is governors right here that's figuring out what they need to do. These are the conversations. Look at two individuals having a conversation. Come on now. It's a blessing though. It's just to show that we should be thankful. We should be thankful. Always be thankful. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for allowing us to have what we got. Man, we thankful. We thankful. We thankful. We thankful. We thankful. We thankful. You know, being blessed to see these type of things is a blessing, because just imagine, man, you're going through this to feed your family. Just imagine you're going through this to feed your family. Just to feed your family, because you gotta feed your family, right? You go through this just to feed your family. This is real, y'all. You gotta think about it. And you don't know what you putting in your body. At this time, you don't know what you putting in your body. Just remember, they don't know what they putting in their body, but they know they gotta survive. They know they gotta survive. They know that for sure. They don't know what they putting in their body, but they know they gotta survive. They know they gotta, these kids that they got, that they have, has to survive. Be thankful, man. That's the only thing I'm telling y'all. Be thankful. Be thankful. Walmart. You can't go to Walmart. You know, to get your food, this is what you gotta do. These are the things you gotta do. You can't go to Walmart. Just imagine if you had to do this. If you had to be this person, if you had to be this man to get your food, to really hunt your food, to go get what you need to go get. Just imagine if you was this. You know, this is the whole question that you got to ask yourself when you start complaining. When you start complaining, do you want to be this person right here? Do you want to be him? You know, at the end of the day, this is real, y'all. You know, our ancestors, our grandmothers, our great-great-grandmothers, because my grandmother herself, Rosa Mendoza, is a prime example of what she used to do in Puerto Rico. She used to do that as a queen, you know. As a queen, she had to do it. You know, it was a struggle. You got certain countries that still go through this type of stuff, you know, that still got to do this type of stuff. So at the end of the day, it's not about, you know, people talk about, you know, what they talk about as slaveries and everything. Like I said, roots used to be my punishment. And I spoke to my pops about that, like, man, you know, a lot of people wanted us to believe certain things, but that's cool. But what God made me understand is, forget that. We got to look at the real facts of understanding that you're blessed. We all blessed, y'all. We all blessed. We elected, man. We is elected, y'all. I love all of us, man. We appreciate it. You know, I just want y'all to understand, man. Forget all the other stuff, man. Don't let them, you know, juice your brain up like the brother just came up here and said. You feel me? Like, forget that. Y'all see, that's why I'm not reading, you know, what they saying. I'm talking about humbling yourself. You know, when you got to humble yourself, you know, by all of these things that they had to do just in order to live. You know, just in order to live. This is what you had to do in order to live. You know, this is real, y'all. Like, come on, man. You know, It's nothing right now that you have that you shouldn't appreciate. You should appreciate everything you got. That's my whole thing. We is blessed, man. We is blessed. You know, look at this. You know, this is real, y'all. This is real, man. Like, come on, man. You know, I just want y'all to understand. We read about humbling ourselves yesterday, and that's real. We have to humble ourselves. We have to humble ourselves. We have to be thankful. That's real, y'all. Be thankful. Don't just be thankful for what, you know, what you want or what you get. No, I'm talking about forget the materialistic things, because that ain't about nothing. The materialistic things ain't about nothing when it comes to, you know, having the strength that God give you, that breath of fresh air that God give you. That's who give it to you. God do. You know, but I just want y'all to understand this, man. Don't be a slave to thinking, you know, what they want you to think. I'm talking about understanding, you know, what's real. Just like even right here, I could break down this right here. You know, this is the clothes that they had to wear. Not that they wanted to wear. You think, come on, man. If they would have seen the clothes that we had, you think they would have been wearing that? No. Because we're spoiled. We're spoiled now. We spoiled now. You feel me? We spoiled now. That's why I don't forget the race part. We talking about what you had to do, not what you wanted to do. It's different. It's different, y'all. Like, it's different. You know, we had to, you know, our people had to. It's the ticket thing. Let me get my ticket. Hold on, I gotta get my ticket, y'all. I gotta get my ticket. Let me get my ticket, y'all. Gotta get my tickets for, you know, I'm on the road right now. I gotta get my ticket. Gotta get up out of here, y'all. What's going on, DJ? We out of here right now. Look at that. That's the train station now. Wow. That's the train station. That's downtown. Wow. And it's funny because that's where I be at when y'all be seeing me on live and everything like that. Wow, this is dope. This is fire. I ain't gonna lie, this is fire. Wow. Wow, this is needed to know, man. This is needed to understand what's going on in your city. Is museums and historical things in your city you don't even know about. You probably pass by it all the time, because I've done it. I've passed by it all the time. You know, stuff that just really is historical, man. It's historical, man. We go back to right here. Look at this. Look at this, y'all. Come on, man. We go right back here. We don't got none of this stuff no more. None of this stuff no more. You know? What up, electees? We are now, right now, as we speak, we are right now at K-Fair Museum right now. Man, it's dope. It's dope, man. I'm telling y'all, man, they got first, second floor. A lot of historical things that we need to know, we need to understand. I don't know what city and state you in right now, but there's a museum, I bet, that's just like K-Fair Museum. Not only that, but look at stuff like this, man. We talking about a register without a computer, without having to use the computer as your calculator. You had to know it off your mind to understand what type of change you had to get back, what you had to receive, and everything of that sort. Also, look at that, man. You got a phone booth. Not the phone booth that we was regularly putting the numbers in, but no, the phone booth that you take and you gotta talk off the, like, y'all don't understand, man. There's a lot of historical things that's going on in K-Fair Museum. If you right here in Fayetteville, you need to come here and get the experience and also These is humbling experiences, man. I love and appreciate all of y'all. I want y'all to understand this. Being elected make us do things like this where we got to be humble. But in order to be humble, because it's easy not, to fall off track, right? It's easy to fall off track. In order for you to, humble yourself and understand to stop complaining is to go to places like this, to be able to experience things that you need to experience. You know why? Because we all been elected.